Hey girl, my name is Anwar White. I'm a dating coach for Black and brown women, and I just wanted to highlight the most difficult cities to date in for Black and brown women. I've been a dating coach for 13 years, so I've helped thousands of women get their guy, but when I hear these three cities, I know it's going to take a little bit longer than your average. So in my program, most women will get their guys between months 3 and 6. For these cities, it'll take them maybe about 9 months, 12 months. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So coming in third place is LA. Los Angeles is super difficult for Black and brown women, a little bit easier for brown women, Latinas. But one of the things that you're going to need to know is they're still all about that Eurocentric look. There's a lot of racism, even though it's Cali. And the shade of it all is that the men of color in LA are not checking for you as much as they should, which makes dating much harder. Not to mention everything is spread out, so it's even harder to get to your person. So LA, third worst place to date for a Black or brown woman. Second place, Houston, H-Town. Why am I saying this? Not a lot of guys that are financially independent. And a lot of guys from Houston are actually coming from Atlanta and they weren't able to make it in Atlanta. And so they think that they're a 10 and they're overestimating themselves. The other thing about Houston that a lot of people don't talk about is there's a lack of what I call a love middle class. You either have bartenders or you have these like med students and hyper engineers, and there's nothing wrong with any of those like professions or anything like that, but med students will never have time for you. Many engineers are socially awkward and bartenders have really bad schedules. So sometimes it's really difficult to just find your person. Okay, so Houston's number 2. In first place, and I think most of you know this, ATL. Absolutely. When a woman comes to me and says, hey, I live in Atlanta, I know this is going to take 9 months to 12 months to actually help her get her guy. And I'm going to explain why. ATL has a huge gender ratio issue. Yeah. So when it comes to like singles that are ready to be in a relationship, the ratio is 6-to-1, 6 women of color to 1 man of color. So what that means is that there's a level of thirst and desperation that's happening in that market, and the men know that. So they're flakier, they're treating the women much more horribly than they should, and they have no incentive to settle down, which makes ATL super, super hard to date in. Some of the cities that I love that are really easy for my clients to get their guy in: New York, Chicago, and DMV. Let me know your experiences.